guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is October 17th, 2020, and this is the Flight Sim News. So, Greg over at Reflected Simulations made a post. Basically what he's done is he's reworked the first mission from his Big Show campaign for the Spitfire. And originally it used the Normandy map. And he goes on to say, it looked alright when I made the campaign, so I decided to use the historical accurate location for this mission. Then the Normandy map was updated, and now the low detail areas look absolutely terrible. I reported this but got no reply from its developers. Now with the channel map released, you can play it over a much more detailed and realistic scenery because it covers the area in question. It can be played as a single mission or as part of the official campaign. Make sure you read the README file first. I'll include a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can download it and check it out for yourself. Alrighty, so the weekend news for DCS dropped. And there's not a lot in there that's exciting because standalone, the guys over at Flying Iron Simulations last week had dropped news about the A7e Corsair II, and they're just reiterating that here, which I'll cover here in a minute. They changed a couple of things in the A10 flight model that they've been talking about doing for a while. They changed the sound effects on the GAU 8 in the A10, and they've released the Flaming Cliffs 2 original game soundtrack. Alrighty then, I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. So as I was saying, I believe it was on the 12th, earlier last week, the guys at Flying Iron Simulations had dropped this pretty lengthy post about what's going on with the A7e Corsair II. This is one that I'm really looking forward to, and I would love to see more planes from this era simulated and added to DCS World. It's going to be pretty exciting, I think. So phase 1 of development is pretty much done, is what they're saying, and with all these goals now achieved, phase 2 is well underway and is focused on the expansion and realistic modeling of the core systems. The first iteration of our full fidelity flight model, AV devices modeling, prototyping nav systems, TAC computer, and more. With all that in mind, let's go through some of the details of what we've been working on these past few weeks. I'm not going to read every single thing here because it's a pretty lengthy post, but I'll cover the headline topics. So art and modeling is one of them, and as you see, there's a variety of images. Fuel systems is the next one they've been working on. Electrical systems is also something they've been working on. Flight model, which is a big one. HUD. And then at the end, there's a couple of little video. There's a video here of a HUD demonstration, and then the symbology explained, which I believe is a video of the actual HUD in an A7, not the simulated one that they're creating. And then they go on to say, we hope this scratches the itch for some more information on how the A7 is coming along. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or drop into our Discord or Facebook channels. Stay safe, and warmest regards, Dan K at Flying Iron Simulations. This one does look really exciting, and it's one I've had on my radar for quite some time, and I can't wait to see this one come to life in DCS. I think it's going to be probably one of the better ones. I'll throw a link to this in the video description, and you can check it out for yourself. Now this is a pretty exciting one from the guys at 1C Game Studios, the IL-2 Great Battles series developers, and they haven't had an update for a while, and now they just posted that they've changed or are working on changing the G effects. And this is another one of those really lengthy posts that goes into detail and talks about a variety of different things leading up to how and why they've changed what they've changed in the G effects. And I guess the gist of it all is that towards the end, after I read about this and read this myself, it basically says that, yeah, it is a little bit easier now, but it is more realistically modeled compared to what it was. So I think this is going to go over rather well. And again, it's really cool when you read everything that's in here and how much time and effort really goes into this stuff. These guys just keep moving ahead with the World War II stuff. These guys dominate the World War II and the Warbirds era simulation stuff. And as you can see, this is why. You know, the level of detail that they pour into this. And I know some people will say, oh, that's more arcadey than this, that, or the other. And it's really not. It's super fun. And there's so much to get out of IL-2 that, you know, it really is my favorite when it comes to Warbirds. And I've said this for a long time now. And it just keeps getting better. This is DevBlog 263. I haven't seen an update from these guys in a while, but I'd imagine there's probably one coming up very soon that will likely include this because they're doing some internal testing on this right now. But I highly recommend reading this entire post. There's a lot of great information in there. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. So the guys over at the Air Combat Sim podcast have an interview with Matt Wagner from Eagle Dynamics. I haven't listened to this one yet. It's about 47 minutes long. It looks like the interview is with Goat and Baltic Dragon as they talk to Matt Wagner. I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, and you can check it out for yourself. I came upon this post, which I believe is referring to the F-16 Viper. It says, by Nineline, we've done a rework of landing and takeoff dynamics, including crosswinds. You should see these soon. Thanks. I'll throw a link to this in the video description, and you can check it out for yourself. Here's another awesome video from a friend of the channel, Iain Christie. This is the A-4E Extended Flight Model Alpha release. Looks like October 24th is going to be the next release of the A-4E module.
Hello, YouTube Sidekick here. I'm in my trusty A4 Skyhawk, except, well, with a bit of a twist. Instead of flying the regular Skyhawk today, we are flying the pre-alpha release of the extended flight model. So you'll notice a few things that are different, like this little yaw wobble shape. Now, to be fair, that's because this is a pre-alpha release, and I kind of strong-armed the developers into letting me add it before they had worked out all the wrinkles. So the actual alpha release has fixed this kind of yaw wobbling problem, but, you know, it was a little bit entertaining. So the point of releasing this video today is actually to announce that there will be a trial of the alpha version of the extended flight model on Saturday, October the 24th. The details of the trial are in the description of the video. Anybody who flies the A4E Community Edition is absolutely welcome to participate in the trial, so check it out. So, what's the big deal about an extended flight model? Well, as I'm finding out flying this, it's a much more realistic experience. The simple flight model that comes with the A4 now doesn't include a lot of interaction, like a lot of the extra weight and the aerodynamic effects of payloads. You should probably notice that flying this low-level run, which I have flown many times in videos before, is quite a different experience with a couple of tons of bombs and external tanks on board. The plane flies like it's carrying that weight, which it doesn't do with the simple flight model. One of the other big things about the EFM is that it will allow a lot more realistic interaction with aircraft carriers, which is not something that I spend a lot of time in my videos, but I think for guys who like to do a lot of carrier operating with the A4, they'll be very pleased to have the EFM. So what I want to do is fly a mission I've flown many times before, both in the A4 and with other aircraft. This is the mission where we're going to do the pop-up and drop the bombs on the bridge. But you're going to see, if you bother to go back and look at the footage when I flew this before in the scooter, Certainly when we do this first pop-up here, carrying 10 Mark 82s, sorry, 8 Mark 82s and the external tanks, the plane is just a lot less agile than it was. We're not going to be able to pop up as high. We're going to lose speed a lot more quickly. And essentially it's going to fly like it's carrying a lot of ordnance, which is a good thing. The plane should fly realistically. It should make you...
This is fantastic news for A-4E guys. For the longest time, the community at the same time has criticized the A4 for its flight model, and have always said that, yeah, but it's not like this, that, or the other, but it is the best free module that you can get for DCS World, and it has a lot of capabilities. So it's nice to see that now it has gotten the attention enough from these criticisms to actually take it to the next level. So this is exciting stuff, man. I didn't watch the entire video. Sorry, Ian. But I usually do watch your videos, and it's in their entirety. But I'm sure the rest of this goes into more detail about the changes. And it's about 9 minutes long, which is a bit long for Ian. But that's not a bad thing, because Ian does great videos. And I'll throw a link to this in the video description as usual, but definitely be around to check that out next Saturday. That's fantastic news. If I have time, I might jump in there and download and give it a shot too. So that's bringing it that much closer to being, an even better, more awesome, best free module that you can get for DCS World. Awesome news, man. Awesome news. Thanks again for the tip. And then lastly, the Virpil guys threw up a video of how they, I guess, test their sticks and cams and whatnot, and the springs, their little testing thing here. And then they went on to say that their web store, earlier in the week, they had to take their web store down, and now the web store is back up. And I find this ironic. It says, we're now excited to confirm that the Virpil Controls Worldwide Web Store is open for back orders. This is the problem I have with Virpil. Come on, guys. Why don't they get some stock, man? Because I would have ordered something from these guys a long time ago if, you can ever go to one of their web stores and actually find something in stock. And then this guy down here asks, is there a difference between pre-order and back order? That's what I'm talking about, I think these guys could do really well if they could actually get their products out there in, in numbers instead of this, order it and wait 3 months for it kind of scenario they have going on. And some other guys have posted when I've talked about Virpil before, and they said, yeah, I've ordered something and got it in a month. Well, you must have ordered it right at the right time when they actually had something in stock. That seems to be the big problem with the Virpils and the VKBs that are out there, is that it's just not like a Thrustmaster stick. But then again, I will say this in their defense: right now HOTAS gear in general is very scarce to come by. A lot of the stuff is sold out. I think when the stimulus checks came out and everybody realized they were going to be home for a long time because of the current situation of the world with the virus crap, that stuff just sold out, and it really has had a hard time restocking. But this stuff existed before all that when it comes to Virpil and the VKB stuff that's out there. So that's it for the Flight Sim news, guys. And as for me, what I've been up to, I'll tell you what, I haven't been up to much, mostly work, hanging out with my girlfriend, dealing with my kids. Haven't really touched a flight stick. I'm kind of in that I don't know, just kind of in that that lull at the moment, where I just don't have any inspiration to fly anything right now. There's nothing that's really fun at the moment, or inspiring me to do much. I have been playing Star Wars Squadrons, and that's been great fun. But this past week, I haven't even touched the stick for that, And they did come out with an update, which, fixed the dead zone issues, so it's a lot more enjoyable with my HOTAS gear. But, yeah, I'm just not, into it at the moment. I don't know. There just hasn't been much to, really inspire me to jump in there and fly. I've flown all this stuff I don't know how many times. I'm really waiting for the next update from the 1C guys on IL-2 And maybe I'll jump back in there and get into some more Desert Wings to Brook. That was great fun as well. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to hit that like button. And until next time, guys.